A bathroom organized as a living space or transitioning into a living space is no longer a trend, but a good practice. And of course, Antoniolupi were pioneers here and continue this story. First of all, with their Borderline collection, which was launched last year and is architecturally exactly the kind of piece that is more characteristic of living spaces and in terms of finishes as well. In fact, Borderline erases the boundary between the bathroom and, for example, the bedroom with these wonderful cabinets. Color in the bathroom interior is also not a novelty. Antoniolupi now offers ceramics in color, and as always in very delicate deep shades, in this case gray. As for trends, it seems to me Antoniolupi quite interestingly approached the question of the color of the year and presented existing models simpler and album in colors that are close somehow. Its natural marble simply is in Rosso Levante with a very rich Baroque pattern. Album is in Colacata Viola. Also a very expressive and characteristic stone. The tactile experience of interaction with natural stone has also become very important recently, and the same tactile sensation you can get from interaction with a rather new material called iSmooth. It's a kind of evolution of crystal mood. Inside the product is still glossy, has this very mysterious transparency, but outside it is matte and very pleasant to touch. The bath and the sink look a little bit different due to the thickness of the material. By the way, the wash basin is on the new Ala shelf, which has a very unusual countertop profile and looks very thin and very airy. The Anima Liquida collection is an excellent example of how an idea that was way ahead of its time can evolve into the present. It is, first of all, the natural stone wash basin that we have already told you about, but it is now also complemented with a furniture that also flows into the living space. Anima Liquida Living can be used in the dining room or living room, for example, and offers a variety of finishes in both natural wood and very deep shades of lacquer, matte or glossy. That is as suitable as possible for your space. You can use this system both in the bathroom, integrating all the storage into the walls as much as possible, and in the living space, taking advantage of the same amazing possibilities. And it's just the same with the Showdown collection, whether you have a wash basin and fronts in the same color or a contrasting design, and with the lighting it makes for some interesting architecture. And built-in mirror cabinet again provides very convenient storage and solves the spatial problems in the fairly compact rooms. By the way, as far as compact spaces are concerned, this is definitely one of the main trends of this show, and here too Antoniolupi has something to offer. This is another interpretation of the Japanese bathing culture, that is, the Cuba bathtub, which is in fact a classic of Uro. Classic Japanese wooden tubs are usually exactly rectangular. Here is a relatively small size, but high depth and seating makes it possible to enjoy bathing procedures in a really quite modest space. To get into this Cuba, another novelty will be very helpful. These small stools or tables if you want, with which you can place some items in the vicinity of the bath and get there comfortably, because the bathtub is quite high. By the way, as for the name, some experts say that perhaps it was not only the Japanese culture that influenced the choice of this name, but also the compact bathrooms in the new buildings of the Cuban capital. As for the organization of the shower, you can choose from two fundamentally opposite concepts. Either the shower heads will be as narrative as possible with a very bright story, it's either azimuth or Apollo, or they should be virtually invisible at all, like the shower head which is called Ghost. Ghost is built into the ceiling. It is absolutely integrated and there is no frame. The presence of the shower can be noticed only by large jets or small holes if you look specifically at the ceiling, although it is unlikely you will do so. And of course, the top of the idea of the transition of the bathroom space into the living space is to combine them. And here we see again the shelf ala, butler cabinets and bed. As for the bed, it is also a novelty by Antoniolupi, which we will certainly talk about in more detail at the Milano show, so don't miss this report. It is very interesting. You will learn what geopathogenic zones are and how Antoniolupi fights it.